BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by...
I want to retire knowing we did it right. We want
to know that it's been worth something.
It's worth everything.
Be intentional about your worth. Farmers National Bank Wealth Management.
What the steel industry at one time represented were things that people still value. How can I find a way of earning a living that lets me construct what most people understand as kind of a middle-class lifestyle? It's not like the sweatshop days where you have to send the kids out to work, because you need whatever little money they can bring in to make up the family budget. And it's not like, when the kinds of situations where people who wanted to be able to move into a professional form of employment couldn't do it because, there are limited openings in professional schools and things like that. I think what I'd like to think that people look back on the steel industry as a unique period in time that had certain pluses and minuses, but that would be equivalent to what they would like to be able to find with different forms of work here in the present. Because family is important. If you have to relocate to another part of the country, it's kind of hard to put a dollar plus or minus on that, but it's still a factor. And there are people who might not be able to move. You have an aging parent, and it's still possible for a home environment to be a suitable place for that parent. But what happens if, you who are sort of both maybe wage earner and caregiver, tough double duty, have to leave? So not everybody's kind of in the same situation. Some people have not only fewer personal ties to the region, but they may have more transferable skills. If you know how to do a certain thing, you can get a job any place, at least for a while. And those are kind of comparable situations in a way. I mean, if you were a steel worker and you were experienced at a certain job, you could probably get that job in another steel plant in other areas. But when the mills were closing in the 70s and 80s, there weren't as many jobs as there were people who were losing their original situations.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by...
I want to retire knowing we did it right. We want
to know that it's been worth something.
It's worth everything.
Be intentional about your worth. Farmers National Bank Wealth Management.